Hey everybody, it's Chris from Guilty Words, where we unravel crime one word at a time. An Arizona courtroom, a convicted killer waiting for sentence, and suddenly the victim speaks, not in spirit, but in AI. This is the first U.S. case where a murdered man addressed his killer through an AI recreation. Tonight, we'll look at the words, the tone, and the linguistic craft behind this digital resurrection. Let me give you a little background on this case. Christopher Pelkey was a 37-year-old Army veteran, a husband and father. On November 13, 2021, he was involved in a road rage incident in which Gabriel Paul Horcasitas shot him 3 times in the chest. The shooter was convicted of manslaughter, not murder, and at his sentencing, during the victim impact statements, Pelkey's family decided that Chris should speak for himself.
Hello. Just to be clear for everyone seeing this, I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile. I was able to be digitally regenerated to share with you today. But here is insight into who I actually was in real life. Take a look.
All right, I'm Chris Pelkey. I served with the United States Army in the infantry. I'm from upstate New York. And what else?
Where'd you deploy?
Where'd I deploy? I went to Baghdad in 2006, 2008, and then I went to Afghanistan in 09 to 10. I think the number one thing is God, is having a relationship with the Lord and being close with Him, and that He really is the only answer to every problem we have, everything we go through. We got to do it with Jesus at our side. Everything else I've tried has failed. And aside from that, just like Jesus says, love God and love people, and being in that community with people where we can lift each other up and support each other and have that community of like-minded brethren, combat veterans, people that believe in the Lord, and, people that are sober and trying to live that good life, so, it's just all about God and all about people.
So, as you can see from my video, I recorded in 2021. This here is a true representation of who I was, not how the courtroom portrayed me. So, I would like to make my own impact statement. So, hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. It means a lot. I can't tell you how humbled I am for those that spoke up for me, everyone who flew in, took off work, those who are watching this remotely, and for everyone who has supported my family and loved ones through 3.5 years and 2 trials. I wish I could be with you all today. To your honor, Judge Lang, thank you for making yourself available to see this case to the end, especially when the rescheduled trial conflicted with your daughter's spring break. Thank you for listening to everyone today. Thank you for reading the flood of impact statements that came in before today that so many people wrote on my behalf. Every single one of them is meaningful and gives a glimpse into my life with each of them. To Gabriel Horcasitas, the man who shot me. It is a shame we encountered each other that day in those circumstances. In another life, we probably could have been friends. I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. I always have, and I still do. To my family and everyone that I've met along the way, it was a lot of fun. I always had a lot of fun. Love each other because you never know how long you have. But make the most of each day and live your life. It is okay to stumble. God has you. Remember, getting old is a gift that not everybody has. So embrace it and stop worrying about those wrinkles. I once played with one of those filters on your phone where you can make yourself look old. I shared it with a cousin of ours years ago. This is the best I can ever give you to what I would have looked like if I got the chance to grow old. Scary, huh? No, really. Thank you to everyone for being here. It means more than you know. Well, I'm gonna go fishing now. Love you all. See you on the other side.
Now, before we go any further, I want to make something clear. My point tonight is not to judge the family in any way for making this video or in how they used it. How people grieve and what they need to do to grieve is a private matter. What we're doing tonight is analyzing the language they used, the effect it had, and looking at some legal questions that this brings up. Look at the power of the language. To Gabriel Horcasitas, the man who shot me. In another life, we probably could have been friends. He goes on to say, I believe in forgiveness and in God who forgives. And then that light-hearted statement, unexpected. Getting old is a gift, stop worrying about wrinkles. These aren't courtroom words. They're human words, crafted to sound kind and wise and forgiving. The tone reframes the tragedy as compassion, and it turns confrontation into reflection. Now, linguistically, this is fascinating. First, we have the direct address to Gabriel Horcasitas. It personalizes the exchange. It confronts without rage. Second, the meta-disclosure. I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI. That line gives the avatar credibility by acknowledging what it is. Third, the forgiveness framing. This isn't vengeance, it's moral authority. And finally, that touch of humor. It lowers the emotional barrier and it makes the artificial voice sound alive. So this moment raised major ethical questions. It's the first known U.S. use of an AI avatar as a victim statement. It happened during sentencing, after conviction, so the rules of evidence didn't apply. But think about the psychology. How could a judge, hearing the victim's voice, not be moved? The defense has already appealed, claiming emotional bias. But still, the judge called it powerful and moving. Rhetoric, even synthetic rhetoric, still changes minds. Judge Todd Lang said, I loved that AI. Then he delivered the maximum sentence, 10.5 years. Coincidence? Maybe. But remember, language persuades. The family says the video brought them peace. The judge says it brought him clarity. From a forensic linguistic perspective, it's clear. That AI didn't just speak, it influenced. Let's peel back the authorship for a moment. This wasn't Chris talking. It was his family's script written as Chris. They shaped his identity through tone, pronouns, and pacing. Every pause, every phrase, every I is a linguistic reconstruction. So we have to ask ourselves, when AI revives a voice, whose voice is it really? The dead man's or the writer's? This case sets a precedent. Today it's the victims, but tomorrow will there be witnesses or defendants? Imagine a jury hearing a computerized version of someone who can't speak for themselves. AI could become the most emotional person in the room. And if that happens, justice won't just depend on facts. It will depend on who writes the script. So what conclusions can we draw from all this? Well, technology met morality in that courtroom. Language framed forgiveness as justice. But authenticity, not innovation, will decide whether AI belongs in the legal system. If it were your loved one, would you want their voice recreated? Would that help you heal, or would it haunt you forever? The answer may depend on what we believe justice should sound like. My daughter said to me, Mom, please don't ever recreate me in AI after I'm gone. And I said, no problem. But it made me think too, what does it mean for us as individuals? Now we have living wills to make sure when we can't speak for ourselves that we're taken care of the way we want medically. Do we also need to protect our images and say, no AI recreations after I'm gone? The legal system typically is far behind when it comes to things like social media, technology, and AI, but they need to catch up pretty quickly. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts. I think this is a fascinating case, and there's just so much to it. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate your time as we took a quick look at this. And until I see you in the next video, please use your words wisely and well. Take care.